Hey, it's Arrtx and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be unboxing Arrtx's 66 Pastel OROS marker set and creating a drawing with them, featuring a certain character from Genshin Impact who you will see later, unless it's already on the thumbnail. Anyways, starting off, I absolutely love the packaging, especially the light purple color, which is literally so aesthetic, and also is very satisfying to peel off this plastic. As usual, Arrtx's packaging is really amazing. I really like the words that they added and how they're like kind of shiny. And also at the bottom, you can see that they listed all the colors that this marker set offers, and like I mentioned before, it does have 66 different colors. They have this like handle thing at the top, which was very nice, and also they included a little thank you card, which I thought was super sweet and cute. So this set does have 66 markers, which mainly features pastel colors with the exception of one black, which you can see there. Another great thing that I really like about this box is that it can be doubled as a stand for the markers themselves by placing it like how I'm doing on the screen, which is so cute and great for storage since I don't really have like an acrylic case for any of my markers. Here's a closer look at the markers. There's a chisel tip and a brush nib, and the barrel is shaped triangularly so that it doesn't roll around on your desk. Here's a time lapse of me sorting through the markers in accordance to the swatch sheet that Arrtx provided because I thought that it would look better, and now we're moving on to swatching. So like I mentioned before, Arrtx did provide a swatch sheet, which I didn't even notice while unboxing, but it was super sweet of them. I do recommend also swatching it in your sketchbook or whatever paper you usually use for drawing using markers, because different markers may appear like differently on different colored papers or textures. So talking a bit about the cost, these markers retail for $59.99 USD on Amazon. All the links for these markers are in the description as well, by the way. But that means that they are about 91 cents per marker, which I think is a pretty good rate. Also, this is a pastel set, so that doesn't mean that there are like any darker shades or midtones. There are a couple that are like leaning towards the midtone range, but overall they are very pastel. I think the only like gripe that I have with the set is that I would like to see a couple more grays or neutral tones in general, but other than that, I really do like the color selection. I feel like Arrtx evenly chose all the colors and they didn't like focus heavily on one color like I've seen some marker sets do in the past. They also did include a black tone, which obviously isn't pastel, but I really do like the addition because now you can have like a contrasting color against all the other super light colors in case you want to create a piece that looks like that. And here are the finished swatches. I really like how they came out, and now we are going to move on to the drawing. Sketchbook time! So a couple of people have actually asked me about like a sketchbook tour when I'm gonna do one, but I'm only about a third done with this current sketchbook, so it will be taking a while, especially since the sketchbook does have like 100 pages or something. It's the Moleskine one, by the way, if you're wondering. And with school and everything else going on, I have been doing a lot more digital art in general just because the process is easier than having to like take out all my supplies, my pencil case and the sketchbook, and like finding a space for me to draw. Anyways, the character I'm drawing today is Folklores, otherwise known as Lady Farina from Genshin Impact. She's the Hydro Archon, I think. I haven't actually played in Fontaine at all yet. I just finished the Sumu region quests, but from what I've seen of it, the landscapes are really cool though, so I'm really excited to start exploring and whatnot. Comment down below if you guys would like another Genshin Impact themed draw with me, by the way. I am slowly getting back into the game and getting back from burnout. Anyways, this set included many lighter skin tones and pinks, so I did end up going ham with the blush as always. The first skin tone I used was giving very much zombies vibes, so I did layer a more saturated one later on, which you can see me doing here. And it did look a bit like a clown show for a bit, but trust me, this drawing does get way better, even though it does have its fair share of up and downs. And I really like seeing this part because it's super satisfying to see me like blend all the skin tones, like the blushes and the shadows and whatnot together. But yeah. Anyways, I did end up getting like a stain. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like on the right side of her cheek, like right beside her nose actually. And basically what I did is I put like a bleed through prevention sheet under it, which I always do for my drawings, but the ink like picked up from that sheet and it stained through the paper, so I tried fixing it at the end with a white gel pen. I don't think it's like as noticeable anymore. Obviously it is not the marker's fault, it's just my sketchbook paper being super thin in comparison to the one that I usually use, which is Kansen. But yeah. Also ignore like the 500 lighting changes throughout the video. I filmed this at multiple times throughout the day, so sometimes it's natural lighting, while in others it was like 10 p.m. and it was super dark outside. So obviously this drawing is very blue tone, with Farina's like main color scheme being very much like blues or darker blues, and although some parts are meant to be darker, think of this as like a pastel version of her, because I wanted to create this illustration with mainly just pastel markers from this set just to see what they could do. Also, I really love Folklores' hair design so much. It's so pretty and I love all the blue stripes in it. I think I love characters with stripes in general, which is why I gave so many to my OCs. But yeah, For the hair, I did end up going in with like a light peach color to begin with. I don't think you can even see it that much afterwards, but then I just went in and added all the blue stripes, and now I'm beginning to shade them. I also love her hat, like which is part of her design, but I did struggle so much to sketch it initially, just because like fitting it in the page itself was such a struggle because I didn't want it to get super cut off. Also, I did leave her eyelashes blank, which you can see. Usually I like use my fine liner to thicken it in and fill it up. This time I didn't, and I just used markers, which I do like the look of, but later on I did end up going in with a liner to fill it in just because it ended up being too light because the way the markers dried. But I think it's definitely like something that I'm experimenting with a bit more in my art style. And again, I just went in with like this yellow goldish color for all of, like the gems, and I think I went in with like a more teal tone color for the inside part of the gems, which was really pretty. Since there was like so much blue in this design, I wanted there to be some variation within the hues. Basically, I wanted her like main hat and outfit colors to be blues leaning towards purple, whereas all like the accessories like the jewels and whatnot would be more blue tones that are leaning towards green, so like more teal colored. I also went ahead and started adding some shadows at this point. I just used the purple from the set, which I think was probably like the darkest color that the set offered, but I do really like it because that just makes it a lot easier for me to shoot shadows, and it's one of the colors that I used a lot in Arrtx's other set that they sent me. As you can see, I am going in with like an undertone color for this part of her suit. I actually don't know if what she's wearing is called a suit or not, but we're gonna go with it. And here I'm going over it again with this one blue color. I use this blue color so much in this drawing. I think I like dried out most of the ink already. But I really do like this blue color. It's like this really nice indigo sort of periwinkle shade, which I really like. And here's where things start to go wrong. So basically, this part messed me up so much. I was going to test if like the black was able to blend together with the pastel markers or not. Obviously, it didn't work. Because I just layered the black on instead of trying to slowly blend it in, which I feel like would have given like a better result. Even though it wouldn't have completely blended in, it definitely would have been better than whatever this blotchy mess is. And also, I probably should have tried this separately on a different piece of paper instead of doing it on the actual drawing. So overall, don't try using the black to blend in or like add the shadows. Just use it for a contrasting color, if that makes sense. Looking back, I think it might have actually been cool to like make some parts of her outfit like pure black as a contrast point to like her jewels and her outfit, or not her outfit, her jewels and her skin and her hair, which are very light tone obviously. Anyways, the stain just kept on spreading, so we're gonna ignore that. I did go in with my white gel pen at the very end to fix it, and I think that really did bring it all together. I do zoom in my camera later on because I was literally getting so annoyed of looking at that one stain. The white gel pen is literally my savior, by the way. It rescues so many of my drawings, especially these ones with alcohol markers, and I feel like after I add in the white gel pen, my art just looks 10 times better. Comment down below if you also have that problem. After that, I think I just layered the blue again and again, the same blue shade that I used before, and I repeated the same process for the hat by using like a slightly darker shade to blend it in. And again, I did use some purple shadows for the hair. I feel like with the way that I use the purples, especially against like the super saturated blue colors, they do end up looking a lot more gray than purple. But I think that's also just like how the colors look in general, but here I am going in with it. I did leave like a little white patch just for the highlights because I didn't want the entire thing to be that super dark purple color, and then I did go in using that highlight color to blend it in, and I think it did end up turning out like really well. I really like how the hair turned out in general. Also, I do apologize for not uploading last week. I did end up getting sick, and while I was feeling good enough to like edit and record videos and whatnot, my voice literally sounded so bad. I was like croaking like a dying frog. So here I am this week recording the voiceover, and who knows, maybe you'll be getting a double upload. Anyways, here I am going in with all the finishing details. I added this little purple color to like the bow that was on her hat, which I completely forgot about before for some reason. I feel like I did mess up some details in general, especially in her hat area, because I was getting so lazy when I was doing the line art for that section. And here we are going in with my savior, the white gel pen, just to add any highlights to her faces. And here's the part where I was like fixing in that little blotch on her cheek. I also really like the part of her design where her eyes are like different. Like one of her pupils is light while the other one is black. I feel like that's super cool. Overall, I really did like using these markers. I love the blendability of them, and also the selection overall is just great. Thank you Arrtx so much for sending me these markers to review. I had a great time reviewing them, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!